from Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring. This is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Now at 10, local police are investigating a shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital. Midland police responded to the call today at an apartment complex just north of Loop 250. Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. I'm Rob Took. Now, so far, no arrests have been made. But what we do know is Midland police got the shots fired call around 4 o'clock this morning at the Clusters Apartments. The Clusters complex is located just north of Loop 250, west of Midland Drive. MPD officers found 2 people with gunshot wounds. They were rushed to the hospital. Now, police say the gunshot victims were involved in an altercation. Again, no word yet if any arrests were made. The investigation remains ongoing. And we're taking a live look now at I-20 in Odessa. Some light traffic on this Saturday night. It's a warm and calm day, and tonight is looking no different. Joining us now with a look at our weekend forecast is ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, Rob. You got that right. It is a warm and calm evening, a warm day in general. Today we made it all the way up to 97 degrees. Usually around this time in July, we're definitely used to 96-degree temperatures, so 1 degree warmer. Not as warm as how we were back in 1937 when we sat in our triple digits, sitting at 106 degrees. Now I'll have more of this weekend's forecast later on the show. Back over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Bridget. Now, people in Las Vegas are dealing with the aftermath of flash flooding. Emergency responders recently answered at least 330 calls for service. Las Vegas Fire and Rescue also responded to 22 car crashes and 15 fires. Some casinos were also heavily flooded. And developing tonight, record flash flooding in eastern Kentucky has left at least 25 people dead. Tonight, state leaders believe that number is likely to rise with people still unaccounted for. Supplies are coming in for much-needed drinking water. Here's ABC's Dave Packer with the recovery effort tonight.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear got a first-hand look at some of the devastation on Friday from the air. Hundreds of people have been rescued from the floodwaters. Many of those rescues had to be carried out by air. Paul Francis and his wife were rescued on a jet ski.
We came out of the house and it was so swift that even a jet ski was hard for him to handle, and he took us out one at a time.
First responders continue to search for those still missing.
Continue to pray for the families that have suffered an unfathomable loss. Please also pray for first responders. The mission's been especially challenging, and what they're experiencing firsthand is tremendously stressful and difficult.
Thousands are without power, but service should be restored to most areas by Sunday.
Everybody needs power, but as it gets hot this next week, it could create its own emergency.
Many residents are now staying in shelters.
I don't know what we're going to do. We don't have no place to live now or anything.
Hyndman Mayor Tracy Neese and several members of his family all lost their homes.
I live in the first house. My son lives in the second. My mother-in-law and father-in-law the third. My wife's aunt in the fourth.
This town is economically depressed, right? Hard time.
Absolutely.
It's not the kind of place where people lose something, they just go out and buy it again.
No, we were a coal booming town, and it's all went away. I've talked with multiple people in the town, and that's what they say. They say, you know, what do we do?
The president has approved a disaster declaration for the region, paving the way for federal aid and support to start to help these communities. Meanwhile, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is asking for donations, water, cleaning supplies, anything anyone can spare. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
And new at 10 tonight, someone hit the jackpot in Illinois, holding the only winning ticket in the Mega Millions lottery. The total prize was worth more than $1 billion, and that lucky person bought their winning ticket at the Speedway gas station in Des Plaines.
Well, this is the largest jackpot ever won in Illinois and the second largest ever won for the game in the U.S.
Now the Mega Millions jackpot increased slightly to $1.33 billion because of all the sales yesterday. The winner has yet to come forward. Here's ABC's Deirdre Bolton with more.
The Mega Millions frenzy had many people dreaming big.
If I won,
I would leave the country.
I would help all my friends pay off their mortgages.
With a $1.33 billion jackpot, it was the third largest in Mega Millions history. But just one winner will get to live out those fantasies after Friday night's drawing.
Again, tonight's winning numbers are 67, 45, 57, 36, 13, and the gold mega ball is 14.
A single winning ticket was sold at a speedway in Des Plaines, Illinois.
We have not heard from the winner yet. We don't know whether they even know that they won a prize, so I encourage everybody to check your ticket.
Each state's lotto division has the option of either a lump sum payout or an annuity.
The winner has 12 months from the date of the drawing to claim their prize. However, if they only have 60 days from the date of the drawing to choose whether or not they want to take the cash option.
Some advisors say annuities can be a more attractive option in the current environment.
Right now, for the first time, I think a lot of advisors would say, we have to look at the annuity. Before, we really didn't look at the annuity that much.
But experts agree whoever is holding that winning ticket should build a trusted team of tax, legal, and financial professionals before claiming the prize. And if that lucky individual wants to do a little shopping, they could buy this 1963 Ferrari GTO for $70 million. Or Blue Island in the Bahamas goes for about $75 million. Or perhaps even this Leonardo da Vinci painting that last sold for about $450 million. Deirdre Bolton, ABC News, New York.
And hopefully they save some of that money. The winner has 1 year to claim the jackpot. And taking a live look tonight from the nation's capital, late today, the White House announced that President Biden has again tested positive for COVID-19 after 4 days of negative tests. The president says he has no symptoms and he's feeling fine. The 79-year-old's so-called rebound positivity comes after his treatment with the drug Paxlovid. And tonight, caught on camera, a 12-year-old girl runs from a teenage gunman while holding her baby brother. A security camera on her front porch captured the video of the shooter running to the lawn and opening fire. Miraculously, the 12-year-old girl was not badly hurt, but the terrifying ordeal left her mother in the hospital. Tonight, we hear from the mom from her hospital bed. What exactly happened and what police are saying. Here's ABC's Malik Johnson, with this report.
1 second, a 12-year-old is hanging out with her little brother. The next, she's running for her life.
Whenever I heard the gunshots, I got up and didn't think about anything else and saw my daughter running inside.
Her mom was opening the door when she was shot.
All I think is about an angel. Angel covered my babies. That's what I think.
Both of her kids survived the attack. She says this is the result of bullying. She believes the shooter is the brother of her daughter's bully. She and her house weren't the only ones caught in the line of fire. This is her neighbor's home with bullets going through the front door, the living room, TV, and a bedroom. Rosa Oliva says her kids are doing well now as she recovers at the hospital.
He's doing very good, and also my daughter is here with me.
Forever grateful for her daughter for not only getting away herself, but holding on and not letting go of her brother.
She's a champ. She's a hero. You know, I tell her that she's my little hero because she saved her brother's life.
KCPD says they are looking at someone in this case. That person is under 18, and the juvenile court system is reviewing the case for consideration of charges.
And a hot and dry weekend. And taking a look at our drought monitor, previous rain has decreased our levels, and in other areas it has worsened. Will we continue to be hot and dry? I'll have that answer after the break.
And a golf tournament is in full swing at a club owned by former President Donald Trump. And families of 9/11 victims aren't happy one bit. The reason why in moments. Plus, the Midland Rockhounds had a chance to clinch their series against San Antonio tonight. Highlights from the Diamond coming up in sports.
Chris Cuomo, welcome to the show.
Let's get after it,
Let's
Danny.
do it.
You ask what you want.
How is it different being Chris Cuomo the last 8 months than it was in 2020?
I respect that you ask the questions. I want to find a way to help people. I'm going to come to News Nation, and I want to build something special here. I think we need insurgent media. I think we need outlets that aren't fringe and just trying to fill their pockets. I'm going to go where the news is, and I'm going to try very hard to be fair.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Enjoy the open road. Well-qualified buyers get 2.49% financing on all Silverado pickups. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. See your Permian Basin Chevy dealers.
Suddenlink is becoming Optimum, and bit by bit, we're making big changes to reconnect with you. Like building Optimum Fiber, a new 100% fiber internet network, and combining it with Optimum Mobile for complete connectivity. We're giving you more flexibility with no first bundles or annual contracts. And we're here for you with 24/7 support, with your satisfaction backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Little by little, progress adds up to something bigger. Reconnecting with you. Let's reconnect.
As our kids live alongside COVID, remember, they're safer when they're vaccinated against the virus. It'll help prevent long-term symptoms like weeks of exhaustion. It'll reduce the spread in schools and to your home. And it's been proven safe with millions of children already vaccinated. Talk to a medical provider today about keeping your kids up to date on their COVID vaccinations so they can play safe. Visit vaccinenm.org/kids to get started.
You won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. So take Allegra before allergy symptoms take over you. And for kids, try allergist-recommended non-drowsy children's Allegra.
Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab. Get ready for your day with meteorologist Ryan DePhillips. Now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
Well, it is Saturday night. It's warm and calm, like Rob said earlier. And taking a look at some of that warm and calmness, thanks to Roofs by Nicholas, we're able to see some of that warm and calmness going on in the Midland area. You know, pretty chill going on. But you know what's not chill? Our current temperatures. And talking about that, we are actually in our 80s, sitting at 87 degrees with a couple of some clouds. Our humidity sitting at 28, our dew point 50. And our winds are traveling southeast at 11 miles per hour. Now, our sunset did happen at 8:47 p.m. So before that happened, it was a warm day, sitting at 97 degrees. Usually around this time in July, we're definitely used to 96-degree temperatures, so 1 degree warmer than our average, but not as warm as how we were back in 1937 when we sat in our triple digits at 106 degrees. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in warm for that as well. 75 degrees for our lows, and on average, we're definitely used to 73-degree temperatures, so 2 degrees warmer. And we do have a temperature change in the past 24 hours. We're actually 1 degree cooler in the Midland Odessa area. In Big Spring, 2 degrees cooler along with Hobbs. And there are some areas that are warming up. In Marfa, 10 degrees warmer. In Van Horn, 9 degrees warmer. And then in Presidio, sitting 13 degrees warmer. You know what? It's going to continue to be even warm. Now, into our Sunday, we're going to have a warm kind of morning, sitting at 74 degrees. A very breezy start because our winds will be traveling south at least 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we're going to continue to see some of those winds. Now, that's when around 12 p.m. in the afternoon, that's when our area begins to pop in with some of that orange, with our temperatures increasing. In Lubbock, we're sitting at 92. In Midland Odessa area, we're sitting at 92 as well. In Dallas-Fort Worth, sitting at 96. And we're going to continue to get even warmer, and then we cool on down by the time we get into 9 p.m., but yet we're still in our 90s. Now, taking a closer look at tomorrow, we're going to start off at 74 with a breezy start. Then we get into noon, we're going to warm up quickly. A couple clouds in the sky at 89. Then by the time we get to 5 p.m., that's when we actually reach our triple digits for another hot day at exactly 100 degrees. So just when you thought that the triple digits was over, sadly, it is not for some of y'all, but for me, I'm excited. The heat tips for you guys: drink plenty of water, apply sunscreen regularly, and take breaks in the shade. Not only is it going to be hot, but it's also going to be a little bit breezy, so we're going to get some of that air to cool us off just a little bit. 6 a.m., we're going to sit pretty calm, and then winds will be traveling really fast by by the time we get into 11 p.m. in Wink, 17 miles per hour. In Midland, Odessa, 17. Fort Stockton sitting at 22 miles per hour. That wind's going to be with us until Monday. And taking a look at our allergy report, our trees, grass, dust, and mold sitting at a low level. Our weeds sitting little to none. Here we go. 101 degrees for tomorrow. And then we get into Wednesday, 102 degrees. And really throughout the entire upcoming week, it's just going to be hot. And I'm super excited with that because I got a big old smile. And I'm going to take this contagious smile over to Avi for sports.
Absolutely. We'll head to Avi in just a few moments, but former President Donald Trump is hosting a golf tournament at his New Jersey club. It's part of the Live Golf Series that's backed by Saudi Arabia, and that isn't sitting well with families of 9/11 victims. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest from that protest.
The controversial Live Golf Tournament is underway. But before the golfers teed off, they were met with new criticism for participating in the Saudi-backed series. Families of 9/11 victims led a protest before the opening round Friday, expressing their frustrations with the players and former President Donald Trump, who hosted the tournament at his Bedminster Golf Club.
Today we call for accountability. Today we call for justice. The Saudi Arabian government and whoever attaches their name and reputation to this farce must be called out for what they're doing.
We're standing here in the backyard of where 750 people were turned to dust.
Families of the victims accusing Trump of turning his back on the U.S.
Nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have, as to the maniacs that did that horrible thing to our city, to our country.
In 2016, Trump directly blaming the Saudis for the attack on 9/11.
Who blew up the World Trade Center? It wasn't the Iraqis, it was Saudi. Take a look at Saudi Arabia. Open the documents, because frankly, if you open the documents, I think you're going to see that it was Saudi Arabia.
Last year, the FBI declassifying those documents under President Biden, detailing connections Al-Qaeda and most of the hijackers had with Saudi nationals. The Saudi government has always denied any involvement. Tim Frolick, a 9/11 survivor, calling out the former president.
Mr. Trump, we now have the documents. Simply, you lied to our face.
And now your ABC Big 2 Sports.
Well, this weekend's baseball games are some of the last for players all over Major League Baseball before Tuesday's trade deadline. So there's maybe just a tinge of extra pressure on some guys this weekend, especially in the AL West. Both Texas teams, they had rivals to tangle with today. Winning this weekend could factor into what they do or don't do come Tuesday. Well, the Astros are home tonight trying to stave off those pesky Seattle Mariners. Mariners got the best of Houston tonight, though, scoring 2 go-ahead runs in the top of the 9th after the Astros rallied from an early 3-run deficit. The series finale of that one will start tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Meanwhile, the Rangers are in Anaheim right now facing the Angels. They won the first 2 games of the series. The Rangers did. Right now, it's a 7-4 ball game. Angels took a lead after Texas took an early lead, but the Rangers have it in control right now. They're up 3 late. Series finale will be tomorrow at 3:07 p.m. And the Midland Rockhounds, they were battling the San Antonio Missions, trying to get a clinching series win potentially in this 6-game series. They're only a game back in the division standings as well. Shane Selman was the man to get it going for Midland in the second. Hounds down 3 with 2 runners on. He rips a single to left. That's Marty Bikina, who gets waved around third, scoring standing. It's 3-1. RBI number 32 on the year for Selman. Third inning, runner on first, Logan Davidson, he'll strike out, but Kyle McCann, he goes for second. The throw gets away, and McCann scampers to third with only 1 out. And that will bring Brett Harris to the plate with a prime RBI chance. Harris goes for the first pitch he sees. He gets plenty underneath it. It's deep enough that McCann is going to tag from third. He's going to try to score, throw the plate. It is not in time, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Just like that on the Harris sacrifice fly. Rockhounds would come back to tie it, but the Missions retook the lead, and they win by 1. All right, we're back with something cool, something outside the box score or a game result. Typically, we try to bring you a cool story, maybe something that'll make you feel good, something that'll make you smile. Only need a number for tonight: 1,462. 1,462. 462. That is the number of high school football teams here in the great state of Texas, many of whom will start their first practices next week. Yeah, that's right. August is upon us, which means the sport that makes us here in West Texas go wild will be kicking off their first game in less than a month. The UIL, the governing body of Texas high school sports, they list August 1st, Monday, as the first day teams can begin conditioning practice. Now, teams like Permian, Odessa, and Midland, they're all going to have to wait an extra week because they had spring ball. But it's pretty simple, folks. Wherever you are in Texas, there's a really good chance you can find your local team on the practice field next week. Big thanks to Dave Campbell's Football Magazine with help on the numbers. The start of late summer, 2-a-days. Rob, that's something cool.
That is something cool, and Avi, it's going to be keeping you real busy.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be covering all over the West Texas Basin, as far away as Alpine, as close as next door. It's going to be a busy August, to say the least, as we get ready for that first Friday, August 26th. It'll be here before we know it.
You're going to be putting on a lot of miles and, of course, taking us all around West Texas.
Company car's going to get those miles, yep. Oh, yeah.
All right, football time. Appreciate it, Avi.
Hello?
A 911 call goes awry after the operator appears to be snoring on the call. But the emergency administrators seem to be coming to his defense, saying because of staffing shortages, operators are being forced to work long hours. That investigation up next.
I'm Danny, HEB Warehouse Team Leader. We move quickly to get products from our warehouses to our stores. Working hard for Texas is what HEB is all about.
I'm Chantal, HEB Produce Partner. We bring super fresh produce to Texas tables because HEB believes Texans deserve the best.
I'm Michelle, HEB Principal Software Engineer. We build software that helps people shop whenever or wherever they want.
Each and every person counts at HEB.
Because here,
people matter.
Join HEB and be part of something as big as Texas.
The new GMC Sierra. Premium and capable. That's professional grade. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we only serve those who honorably serve. All ranks, all branches, and their eligible family members. Yep, that is exclusive, and we're fine with that.
Shop your favorite back-to-school styles at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Take up to 25% off Under Armour apparel, up to 20% off Nike apparel, and find $49.99 hot deals on select footwear. Shop your store or academy.com. Deals end Sunday.
KMID is the Basin's first television station. From 1953 until now and beyond. We're always first, always accurate, and always proud to call the Basin home. Watch ABC Big 2 News.
Fueling our cars, our homes, and our local economy, gas, oil, and electricity are all powering the Permian. I'm Matt Fonz. Watch my reports every Wednesday night at 6 and 10.
Watch Powering the Permian every Wednesday night on ABC Big 2 News. Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2.
Across Texas, a 911 operator is being accused of falling asleep while taking a call. The investigation is underway tonight, but the emergency center in Houston said they are dealing with major staffing shortages, and it's causing some operators to work long hours just to fill the gap. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff with that 911 call.
It's the last thing anyone wants to hear during an emergency.
Hello?
A Houston dispatcher allegedly falling asleep during the middle of a 911 call.
I was walking my dog around the block from my home, and I came across a person that was in distress.
That's when Luis Gonzalez made the 911 call.
Houston 911, do you need medical, police, or fire? Medical. Did you see?
Hello?
Yes, Houston 911. Do you need medical, police, or fire?
Medical, I think.
Tell them off to Houston Medical.
Gonzalez subsequently asking to speak to a supervisor after he says he heard the snoring.
The call taker was asleep. He was snoring on the phone with me.
In these situations, that every second counts. So I wanted to make sure that that this wasn't a reoccurring problem and that they would take care of it.
The Houston Emergency Center telling ABC News HEC is investigating the allegation of a sleeping call taker while on a 911 call and working to conclude the investigation, at which time appropriate personnel action will be taken as indicated by the investigation. The administration manager for the HEC pointing to staffing shortages. Employees are working longer hours to pick up the slack.
Right now we have about 140 call takers, but at the same time we're about 35 to 40% down.
And up next, a heartwarming story tonight about a young boy and his lemonade stand and the strangers who pitched in to help make his day just a little bit sweeter. And as we head to break, a reminder that if you see news happening, share your videos and photos on social media with us. Make sure you use the hashtag ABC Big 2 News. And if you haven't done it yet, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are ABC Big 2 News.
ABC Sunday, the stars are out and stripping it down.
I've never made love in a blank.
In public.
All of this is public.
And yet I've never made love here, Steve.
Celebrity Family Feud, new ABC Sunday, and stream on Hulu.
A new Chevy is the smart way to hit the open road this summer. The smart way to road trip and seek new adventures. Go a little farther this summer in a new Chevy. Find new get up and go, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.49% financing on most 2021 and 2022 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Ugh, stipated. Feeling weighed down by a backed up gut. Miralax is different. It works naturally with the water in your body to unblock your gut. Free your gut and your mood will follow.
Oh, the kids? At your parents'. I ate an hour ago because you completely forgot about the anniversary sale at Denver Mattress. We're celebrating 50 years with Furniture Row, so everything is on sale. That means $50 off every Buena Vista, Summit, and Doctor's Choice Original. Or purchase any Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 gift. Score 2 Doctor's Choice pillows for only $50, plus 50 months no interest and free shipping. The anniversary sale, only at Denver Mattress.
KMID is the Basin's first television station. From 1953 until now and beyond. We're always first, always accurate, and always proud to call the Basin home. Watch ABC Big 2 News.
Fueling our cars, our homes, and our local economy, gas, oil, and electricity are all powering the Permian. I'm Matt Fonz. Watch my reports every Wednesday night at 6 and 10.
Watch Powering the Permian every Wednesday night on ABC Big 2 News.
Well, trending tonight, Applebee's has added new lip-smacking items to its menu. And it's a little weird. You can't eat it, but you can wear it. Take a look. The popular eatery has teamed up with a cosmetics company to create Saucy Gloss, a collection of 4 lip glosses inspired by Applebee's wing sauces. The flavors are called Be My Honey Pepper, Sweet Chili Kiss, Honey Barbecue Tea, and Get Me Hot Buffalo. That's pretty weird. All right, a TikTok video is going viral tonight after a woman called the Serial Tipper helped a 13-year-old boy sell lemonade. Here is ABC's Will Gantz with this story.
Austin and Lexi Burke were on their way to lunch in Nashville Wednesday when they spotted Nico Christensen selling lemonade on the side of the road.
We saw him and he had a cardboard on his head as like a little umbrella basically.
The 13-year-old braving 100-degree temperatures to sell $3 cups of lemonade.
Are you trying to raise money for anything?
I'm trying to competitive 1,000 rings of Portugal with my soccer team, but it's a lot of money. Yeah. So my dad wanted me to pay at least half of it.
Lexi and Austin setting a plan into motion, even sweeter than Nico's lemonade.
We're like, if you can hang out for 1 more hour, we promise it'll be worth it.
Lexi, aka the serial tipper on TikTok, asking her 1.7 million followers if they'd chip in whatever change they can spare.
We're gonna give you this, the change.
What the guys? Thank you so much. What the heck? What the heck? Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it's $1,100.
It's those moments that get you and make you tear up.
Nico opening up his trusty Boggle Box.
Yes, we'll keep it very safe. Thank you guys so much. He immediately was so grateful, constantly grateful, and just wanted to share so much with us about his grandpa.
Why?
My papa had a heart attack.
Nico's family only in town from DC to see Nico's papa.
No reason I should have been here, but it's crazy that I was here at this time and you guys saw.
There's something special about this kid. We were supposed to meet him today. It was all meant to be.
Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
Oh, what a sweet story. And we sure hope he goes to Portugal with his soccer team. All right, coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. Stay with us.
It's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a 6 sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yep.
So you.
It is.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Pay no interest on Buick SUV models.
Visit your Permian Basin Buick dealer.
Now known as one of the best law schools in America.
It started out as a place where men were trained for the Christian ministry.
This Ivy League university hasn't completely forgotten its roots.
The intersection of Christianity and the law is just so important.
How faith is still a part of college life at Harvard.
It's been incredibly encouraging for me, being involved with Christian Union and small group.
On the 700 Club Monday.
As our kids live alongside COVID, remember, they're safer when they're vaccinated against the virus. It'll help prevent long-term symptoms like weeks of exhaustion. It'll reduce the spread in schools and to your home. And it's been proven safe with millions of children already vaccinated. Talk to a medical provider today about keeping your kids up to date on their COVID vaccinations so they can play safe. Visit vaccinenm.org/kids to get started.
Dragons sleep most of the time, but you never know when they'll wake up. But maybe the most important thing in fighting dragons is not doing it all by yourself.
And let's take one look at that 7-day forecast. Now, tomorrow is going to be a hot day. Maybe I should just say a very hot day because we are going to be in our triple digits at 101 degrees. And then we're going to have another very hot day on Wednesday, sitting 1 degree warmer at 102 degrees. In between tomorrow and Wednesday, we will be a bit hot still, sitting at 98 degrees. And then we're going to close that week sitting at 98, and then slowly getting a little bit cooler, sitting at 96 and then 94. For the most part, it's going to be hot, so do be sure that you wear your sunscreen when you are out and also take breaks regularly. And do be sure to hydrate because this that time of the year.
And last night, it was a beautiful evening in Pecos. Our digital producer, January Romano, shared these videos with us. It's the night in Old Pecos. At the Buck Jackson Arena, families got the chance to enjoy music, food, performances, and goat roping. The event is happening right now. It's not ending until 1 in the morning. So I just found out what we're going to be spending our time doing the rest of the night.
Goat roping.
Heading down to Pecos, I guess.
Heading down to Pecos. That seems like a tournament-worthy sport right there. Just
Yeah.
Who can be the best goat roper? Sign me up. You want to goat rope, Rob?
Yeah, I'll probably hurt myself.
Don't
do much.
I mean, we gotta learn
I'm
from those guys.
practicing a little bit.
They know how to do it in Pecos, I guess. We gotta learn from those folks over there how to.
I'm trying to learn some stuff out here in West Texas. Goat roping it is.
Elite goat roper.
Yeah, well, it was a beautiful day. All those families enjoying that, of course. That's all the time we have for news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. See you then.